Hello interwebs and welcome back to Let's Play Planescape Torment. Last time, after a couple of close encounters with the Dusties, we managed to escape the mortuary through the portal that the anarchist spy told us about. It led us to this small tomb where we found a note clearly meant for that spy in question. It hinted us about a possible place to stay in a part of town called the Rag Picker Square. We will check that out sooner or later once we leave here. Anyway, before we go out, though Erin is not really physically tired, he is a bit mentally exhausted and needs to think about something, so before they head out to experience even more things, they will take a short rest. 8 hours short rest. Where was the rest key? There. Yes, we want to rest. As Erin and Mort lie down to rest on the cold stone floor of the crypt, Erin starts to think about the things he heard and learned while escaping from the mortuary. Deonara's words that Erin must destroy what keeps him alive echo in his mind. He's finding himself starting to be scared of finding out what that is, and scared of the end of his immortality. Will he die the moment he destroys this thing? Or will he get to live until something else kills him? And what if there is no true death, but after a certain number of rebirths, you lose your memories and personalities so completely for good that others just think one died for a final time? Or is another person born in your body at that point instead? This also leads Erin to wonder if the previous reincarnations of him have actually been a different person and not him. Then Erin finds himself thinking of Mort and being somewhat wary of him. Why is he able to retain his normal abilities though he's dead? And how in the nine hells does he float? Why is his head all that's left of him? And why is it that it doesn't have any remains or flesh or skin? It's as if he either died ages ago or someone skinned him and polished him. Well, his skull at the very least. And why was he in the mortuary and didn't have to worry about the dustmen? Did they raise him, perhaps? After wondering for quite a while about all these things, Erin finally falls into a seemingly dreamless sleep. You rested for 8 hours. Alrighty, now it is time to head outside to the city of Sigil, probably, if I remember correctly. Here we are in the city of portals. Let's save here and let's make a new save at this point. There we go. Now I think we have some sort of a world map. It actually showed quite a bit. Okay, of at least the Sigil area. Rag Picker Square in the northwest. That will be where we are aiming at the moment. We are clearly in this area. If I remember correctly, I think this building kinda represents the mortuary. I'm not entirely sure about that though. But then we have the open tomb, place of rest for us. We see a couple of hive thugs, not much else, it seems, at this point.
All right.
So now we'll have to start to look around a bit, and it's nighttime, not a good time to come out of a tomb.
All right.
People might think we are a vampire. And there's more hive thugs. Well, Erin will go check this suspicious looking man and try to have a conversation. We see a heavy-set looking man. He has a stone-faced expression. Greetings. The man looks at us for a moment grunts, then raises his hand, revealing a wicked dagger. He smiles evilly and begins twirling it in a menacing arc. Think we just ended up getting into a fight. Most likely. Let's see if it was possible to leave peacefully. Farewell then. No, it is not. Okay, and we will have Mort use... no, not that one. Where was it? Special ability. Litany of Curses. Taunt him.
These stinkers.
I don't really know what he said just now. That was a bit too quiet to hear properly. 10 copper commons. Not much. And then we have... I don't know... Dabuses, however they're supposed to be pronounced. If I remember correctly, they are kind of constantly repairing and rebuilding the city. Erin, of course, does not know this. And of course, seeing them now, he is extremely curious. So we will go try to strike a conversation with them as well. Erin is just looking for trouble. We see a tall creature with a shock of white hair. Its skin has a greenish cast and a pair of goat horns protrudes from its forehead. It is dressed in long flowing robes and appears to be floating slightly above the ground. Greetings. The creature turns to face us and a series of symbols appear around its head. The symbols have a slight glow about them and they just hover there. Kinda like Mort. Yeah, that's how they speak, that I remember. Oh, for the power's sake, piking Dabus. What's wrong, Mort? He's a Dabus. They speak in rebuses, these annoying word puzzles. If you don't know what he's saying, then we better find a native or some other way to communicate with them, if we want to. An annoying bunch. My bet, they can speak, they just would rather piss everyone else off by trying to puzzle out what they're saying. Don't you have a nice attitude, Mort? What's a Dabus anyway? Chanties, they're janitors for the Lady of Pain. They float around breaking, fixing and patching up Sigil according to her whims. They're worse than corpse flies. You can't swat them though, or the lady'll get upset. Lady of Pain? Who's that? She runs this city. You'll know if you see her. She's got these blades around her face. She's about the size of a giant and she floats off the ground, just like these guys. And me. Mort nods at the Dabus who is looking at us both. Nobody knows much about her. She doesn't speak much. All you need to know is that you don't want to make her angry. If you see her, my advice, run. I see. The Dabus waits patiently, its hands tucked into its sleeves. A series of symbols materialize above its head, then they vanish and a question mark appears. Well, Mort just gave a pretty clear indication that he doesn't understand them, so no point asking him to translate. Let's try and strike up a conversation and see if Erin can translate what the Dabus is saying, as maybe he could either figure them out or even start remembering, because it's quite possible that he has known their language or these symbols before. We asked the Dabus several questions, trying to get a feel for the rebuses that appear above its head. It is extremely patient throughout your discussion, giving you easy sentences to translate. After a few minutes we start to get the hang of it. It feels like we've done this before. Maybe you can help me. The Dabus waits. Who are you? The Dabus inclines his head slightly and a stream of symbols appears above his head. We think he's saying he's a Dabus. Okay. Another question. What are you doing? A batch of symbols appears above the Dabus's head. We think he's saying he's attending to his duty or duties. Very descriptive. Another question. Can you tell me about the Lady of Pain? A lone symbol appears above the Dabus's head. This one shows a metallic female mask with blades coming out of the sides. Just looking at the ghostly image makes us uncomfortable. That's all I wanted to know then, I guess. Farewell. The Dabus bows slightly. Symbols swirl around its head, then it turns away.
I feel stronger.
Oh, Erin got a level up. In that case, let's make a quick save and level him up. Okay, what did we get? 1 characteristic points gained. Well, 1 point. Saving throws have improved. Don't know by how much. 10 hit points gained. Wow, we got the max. And fighting skills have improved. Got lucky there. Okay, characteristic point allocation. Where to put first one? Well, as Erin just recently was reborn, I'd say he's still basically recuperating from death. So the first thing that will go up for him is Constitution. We will raise that to 14 now. There we go. And just in case, let's make a new quick save. Okay, I don't think there's anything back there, and Erin doesn't really have a reason to go back there, so we shall go here. There's area transition there.
Done. I'm gone.
And yeah, this is the big arch.
Right.
I guess these kinda, I don't know, indicate the way to the other part of Sigil. I think all of the these directions where you can go to from an area have some kind of a big archway over it. This one would go to southeastern portion. We don't have any reason to go there yet, but there's a harlot here. Let's see if we could get some information from her. We see a tired-looking woman dressed in a tight leather bodice and leggings. The odor of cheap perfume surrounds her like a cloud, and her face is covered with a mask of crude makeup. She smiles as she sees us. Why don't you stay and chat with me a bit, love? Greetings. The woman looks coyly at us. Now you look to be a blood who's lost something. Mayhap I can help you find it, Cutter? She smiles slightly. Oh, really? What good fortune. We probably lost what we're looking for back at your kip, miss. Well, Erin does think that it could very well be possible that the harlots would know about any you know, like stuff moving in the so-called black market, stolen stuff. So maybe she could have heard something. So Erin is going to tell her what he's missing. Actually, I'm missing a journal. Eh? She seems confused. What are you about? Okay, clearly not. Well, Erin isn't really into relieving himself this way, so let's try if she would be willing to answer questions, even if it means we'd have to pay her a bit. I'm not missing anything, after all, but I did have some questions. The woman frowns. I'm not a tout. She frowns, then rubs 2 fingers together. Unless you've got some chink to pay for my time. I can pay you, maybe. How much? For a handsome basher like yourself. She gives a wide smile, revealing a row of dirty teeth. 3 coppers'll be enough to loosen my tongue. She licks her lips, then frowns. Other questions of a deeper chant'll cost you more, though. Sounds fair. Here's 3 commons. Aye then. She slips the chink into her palm, where it promptly vanishes. Now, there were some things I wanted to know. Ask your questions, love. Well, normally Erin doesn't care about details of places, areas, cities, worlds, whatever. He does like to know about general things like, for example, let's say another plane, for example, what creatures populate the plane in question, stuff like that. But he's not interested in stuff like a specific area's history or anything like that. But seeing as we don't know anything about this place right now or where to go apart from the vague map we have, let's at least ask about this city in general. Can you tell me about this city? The city? Erin has a weird tone today, it seems. Her eyes narrow suspiciously. The city? What about it? What is it? What sigil, you mean? She shrugs and looks around. Is the city beneath your feet and rising to either side of you? She smiles. Makes visitors' stomachs gallop, it does. Okay. Where exactly is Sigil? Center of the plains, to hear it told. She snorts. If you believe that, Wash. Why is it Wash? She smirks. Well now, love, according to the greybeards and scholars and governors and all of the rest of them rattling their brain boxes, they say the plains go on forever. She taps her head. Who's to say where the center is? Intriguing. Well, I had some other questions. Well, at this point, Erin does need some directions, as Mort clearly isn't of any help, though we have to actually see if we can chat with him about anything new now that we're out of the mortuary. Anyway, let's ask about possible places of interest, as right now we need any sort of info, some indication on where to go, or if there's somewhere we definitely should not go. Can you tell me what's of interest around here? She puts her hands on her hips and pouts. Depends on your interest, Cutter. Well, I'm looking for work. You're asking me? What, you thinking of becoming one of the sisterhood, are you? She nearly buckles over in laughter. The screeching is similar to a drunken harpy's. Eventually, the gales of laughter subside and she takes a deep breath. You're a rich man, you are. Well, what else is around here of interest? Yeah, define good time. Well, drinking could be considered good time, so let's see. I'm looking for a good time, too. I already made you an offer, love, and it's not an unfair price. Don't know nowhere else. You might be enjoying the delights you'd have with me. Okay, fine. I had some other questions. What can you tell me about the Lady of Pain? She spits and makes a half circle around her heart. That bladed witch! All high and mighty, mistress of all this city, floating and silent, she kills anyone in her shadow. She tends the city, aye, and leaves the living things in it to rot. Okay. Some other questions then? I'm looking for someone named Farad. Farad? Now that's one of the greater darks, love. If you be wanting to know about that blood, that'll be thrice the coppers of a normal asking. Okay, but you better not screw me over. Here's 9 commons. She gives our coins a once over, then shrugs and pockets them. What you be wanting to know about old Farad? Well, at that price, anything you can tell me about him. And everything you can tell me about him. She shrugs. Chanties, he's a collector, boss. Has a whole bunch of bloods in his shadow. Where can I find him? Now, no one knows for dead sure, but if I were to suggest a place, love, I'd say Ragpicker Square. Conveniently the only place where we have some sort of an objective for Ragpicker Square. Aye, a big old heap of rags and trash 3 blocks due west of the mortuary. All the collectors stake their keep there. Chances are Farad's got his keep there too.